Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Ortiz, and welcome to Transition Talk, Mucusless Diet Healing System Edition, where we're getting inside the minds and experiences of different practitioners of the mucusless diet of Professor Arnold Ehret's Mucusless Diet Healing System. Today, I am introducing my homie. We met in massage school. We connected on a deep level, on the level of the breath. And if y'all know about Arnold Ehret, vitality equals power minus obstruction. And we talking about breathing. We talking about cleansing the body. So that's the deepest level. All right. Well, we also got into working together with KIP, Keep It Positive, KIP Everyone. And we're doing exercises with foster youth and at-risk foster youth and helping them out with the breathing, with the movement, and just really trying to spread that message. So I want to introduce him right now. Got my homie young Nathan Brunetta. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me on, Q. Love you, brother.
Of course.
Hey, everyone. So like you said, my name is Nathan Brunetta. Q and I have been partnering with a little side project called Keep It Positive, or KIP Everyone. And that intention is really just what he said, to try to bring as much mindfulness and awareness to the world, which everyone that's listening to this channel kind of knows that already, because the one and only Arnold Ehret, right? So yeah, it's been a really cool journey. And I've been so thankful to Q for staying dedicated to the practice of self-improvement, because without his dedication, I wouldn't be here on this transition journey without that. So thanks, man.
Oh, Tay, just doing what I'm doing what I can, doing what I'm feeling as well. So thank you for joining us. I know we were talking and you hit your 2-month mark practicing, like after getting into the book and actually utilizing the menu, like really playing with the sanitarium diet. Can you let us know just sort of impressions? We can dive into it, but just some impressions that you got from getting into the practice.
Sure. So this is my third attempt on the Mucusless Diet Healing System. Okay. And the first two times there was this ego idea of what I thought I needed. And, well, I'm on my third attempt, so those first 2 times didn't work out too well. But the third time around, it just got to the point where I was done. You know, I've had a back injury since I've been 1.5. I've been in pain all my life. Yeah. And Q, you know this. I mean, I've some pretty severe, want to throw my back on the ground type thing. Yeah. And you know, I'm only 35 years old, and I had my breaking point. So I decided that it was time to do something different. And I know that you've been practicing this thing for a while, and in so many eloquent, gentle, beautiful ways, and graceful, you've tried to encourage me to just take the leap. And, you know, I finally had that opportunity to do it. And I've been doing it now for 2 months, like you said, with my wife, Claudia. And anybody who's a practitioner, I think, can relate to this. It's a really interesting experience to see what happens when you start practicing this lifestyle and realize that you weren't as mindful as you thought you were. Which totally was like a wonderful slap in my face. It was beautiful.
Can you please expand that idea for me?
Yeah. So when Q, like, I'll kind of share from the perspective of you and I. So Q, when you and I met, we were already connected in this mindful space. I mean, we were in the breath, you know, just in it to win it. Yeah. And, you know, that has been such a crucial part of my own self-evolution and awakening, is to be mindful, is to really take into consideration everything. And, you know, for me, as much as I knew that food was a component to that, it didn't have enough validity in my own experience to the lack of consistency on a specific way of eating
Okay.
to show me any value or worth. And so I never got attached to it. I never could see what you were speaking about. And I think that, especially now, what I'm recognizing is human beings, and I was one of them, and I still am, we want to create resistance, even if we don't know, I mean, excuse my French, even if we don't know what the hell we're talking about. You know, it's like, so it's just really interesting to see that play out so viscerally in the body, especially when you start to go through some of like the rougher detoxes. You know, kind of hopping back on my last 2 months transition, the first 2 weeks was the most challenging for me. I mean, day 1, I thought I was going to throw up. Day 2, I barely held the food down. Day 3, you know, and it just was really interesting to see the body's reaction to something so good. And I found that was really fascinating. And so that being said, now that I'm 2 months into it, I'm able to recognize that the amount of mindfulness that I have now and equanimity with certain things that I didn't have before, it's night and day. It's almost like, if the analogy was, here's most people like living in ego, right? And then boom, here's someone who's a mindfulness practitioner. And, you know, they can see ego. They're like, I see you. I don't have to buy into it. And then all the way over here, then there's like the Mucusless Diet Healing System. And so it almost feels like this is going to be really cliche, but there's this expansion of consciousness. And I'm able to step back even more, which from a mindfulness practitioner's perspective, at least in my own eyes, is really valuable, because it allows for you to see what's there, as opposed to just missing it because we're so caught up in the stimulation of life.
Okay. What do you think about practicing provides that extra space of observing?
Well, I mean, just from what I've noticed with you and in everything that you do, it creates a level of discipline that hones in this specific part, I don't want to say the mind, but of the being, where you just are more aware. It's like, it's almost like you can't get mad at a kid for doing something they don't know is wrong, right? Because there's no point. And what I've recognized with the Mucusless Diet Healing System, and this may be a good thing or a bad thing, and I would caution people about this before going on it, is you will recognize through the visceral feeling of what's right and what's wrong. And then you have this decision, this choice to make of what path you want to take. And, you know, I think that for me, it's been pretty cool because, you know, keep it positive is my life's philosophy. So I'm kind of on that trajectory to do good. But I can see how for a lot of people, it would be conflicting, because as we've spoken about before, you have all these attachments to the food and to the experiences and the memory. And, you know, to become awake is a scary thing, I think, because then you have to recognize that, you know, I don't like how I am in this area of my life. I need to change it. And like I've told you before, I think a lot of times there's this, I think we all have this internal mirror, and, you know, when it's facing us, we get to see what shit we don't like, and, you know, and what we want to change. And for most people, that's a scary sight, because there's not this, like for me, I've always thought like, oh, you got to keep positive stability within the mind and the body and the soul. And, you know, that's going to help you have this mirror turned in, which I still believe. However, I've recognized now that with the Mucusless Diet Healing System, it's almost like, here is like your practices of just like discipline in life, like what you do every day, karma actions, turning that mirror around to be good with who you are. And then the Mucusless Diet Healing System goes, whew, man, I'm amazing. I'm this being of light and love, and you know, you just want to spread that. So it's been really cool to like express that vibrancy and to witness the level of mindfulness increase just by making the conscious decision to understand what I'm feeding this body. I think that's the biggest thing, is to understand what you're feeding the body and how it engages with you. It's, I mean, I've never paid attention to eating more than 2-3 foods at a time, and like, or spices. It's like, I had some like a vegan food the other day, really, really clean vegan food.
Yeah.
And it was
like, what'd you have?
I had like a vegan lasagna.
Yeah.
Vegan lasagna. And I took 3 bites, and this is not, I mean, it's vegan food. It's like $26. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And so I took like 3 bites, and it was so satiating. I couldn't even finish it. And I could see how that satiating quality, like that knockout, like, it's like being drunk. And there's this, like, it's easy to go into the addictive nature of being drunk, because the body, the mind more so, like, it feels like it's good, even though it's not.
Yeah.
And so, so I ate that vegan stuff. I felt like just, oh man, it's super heavy. It's tasty, but it's super heavy. And then what I noticed is the next day, and for like, I don't know, 4 days after that, 5 days after that, my body, the processing was different. It was different. Okay. And the only variable was the combination of all that stuff going into the food, and how much the body had to sort out. It's almost like, it felt like I took a puzzle, like a brand new puzzle, and I shook it up, and then I dumped it down my body and said, okay, body, put it together.
Got you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so it's just, things like that, like noticing things like that have been really fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And then I think one of the things that has come up as more of a respect on your end, and having respect for what you do, is just the non-attachment that you almost have to really step into when it comes to other people's experiences and how they choose to engage with their eating and their lifestyle. It's like, my website is KIP Everyone, not KIP a Few. So I want the world to be good. And I think that's been, and it will be, my biggest lesson on this lifestyle of eating, is being okay with people not wanting to understand, or not being receptive enough to allow that seed to sprout, and just being good, throwing the seeds of knowledge, of information and experience on as much of the, fruitful soil as possible, and go from there. Because again, with you, I mean, you've been throwing seeds on me for, 3+ years with this whole way of eating. And thank you for shining your bright light on me, because I finally germinated and I'm sprouting. So, yeah, I think that was a lot. Thank you for letting me express.
Of course, man. And you mentioned after 3.5 years of seeing me initially get into it from a brother from Kung Fu showing me the information, and then me just really resonating with it and getting into it, and just like practicing it and applying it to the lifestyle of the Qigong, the Kung Fu, the breath. And what about now? I know I touched in on like, okay, like you touched in on having this opportunity, like, and then being like, I'm done with this. Just, can you describe that feeling, like, of being done with what you were previously doing, and then like just the push to just get into the information?
Yeah. I can try to relate it to a story that was pretty powerful for me. I made a decision at like 25 years old that wasn't in my best interest. It was not who I wanted to be, but it actually ended up being the best decision that I've made, because it brought me to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I remember making this decision and feeling really bad about what I did and just not knowing how to handle that type of information, that level of processing. And I gave it up. You know, I said, I don't know what to do anymore. And I remember sitting at the beach, just bawling. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm, you know, help me. I don't want to be this way. I don't, you know, not who I want to be. And in that letting go, it felt almost instantaneous. Like the next few days and a few weeks, it felt like I was starting to be graced with more insight and more realization. And that insight and realization soothed the ego and soothed the mind and kind of helped break things a little bit and give more transparency to things. And so that was my experience when I had like my big KIP awakening. And then I've had pain since you've known me.
Yeah.
And I'd say that over the last 3 years, actually over the last 6 years, you know, I've gone through quite a bit of experiences that have tested my emotional intelligence and capacity and my ability to have boundaries. And, you know, I can be honest and transparent and say, as good as I would like to think I wasn't. And so my practices and my disciplines and all these things that I kept true to my heart started to be put on the back burner. They were there and I was still kipping out, but it wasn't a blazing flame. It was more of like the pilot's lit. And that's not, and I had that same feeling of like, man, like, I know this isn't who I want to be. I know that I want to do something and change the world. I know this.
Yeah.
Why am I messing around? And, you know, and I got to see you as someone who, I mean, is incredibly disciplined, incredibly focused, incredibly on point with the decisions that you make in life, and how there's no swaying. And I love that. And, you know, and I think that's one of the things I've appreciated about our friendship and why I don't have many is because you have to be choiceful with who you bring into your life.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's not a lot of people who are in the lifestyle of making themselves better, especially when it comes on to the physiological deep level of nutrition and food. I mean, gosh, you know, it's crazy. And so I just got to that point again where I recognize something one of my bosses told me a while ago that kind of came up in that moment was, if you were to die tomorrow, what would be lost?
Yeah.
And I've shared that with you. And, you know, for the last 10 years, I've been on this journey to try to spread the message of keep it positive and, you know, be reflective and look inside and grow and all this. And I know if I would have made the decision to take the leap and not let the mind rule through so much doubt and what needs to be perfect and what I think I know and what, you know, I think the body needs, then maybe, you know, it would be more known, but it's not. And that kind of got me a little bit. It hit my heart because I believe, like, you know, KIP is the heart. And so, you know, I think whenever you're tasked, when you feel like you're tasked with some great importance from someone you love, right? Whether it be a higher power, a parent, a friend, a loved one, whoever, you know, that's a responsibility that you take on, and it's a beautiful one. And I just didn't want to keep throwing my purpose, the call to voicemail. I don't want to keep sending it to voicemail.
Got you.
And I recognize that the thing that's been keeping me back has been my decision on what I put in my body. And the moment I made that decision to change, all temptation came full flooding in, you know, all of it, Chinese food, pizza food, chicken wings, free food, you know, what do you want? And I got to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to do the Mucusless Diet Healing System if my partner, Claudia, wasn't on it with me. Because of the level of connection and attachment that one already has to a spouse, let alone the engagement that you have during dinner and breakfast and I mean all these little things that you do, and then when you go out. And so I know that I would have slipped back into it because, you know, I was gonna have a hard detox. I did have a hard detox. You know, I was ready. I remember 5th day, I'm in the room in pain. I'm giving up. Screw this diet. I don't want it. And you know, and I only was able to get through it because she was still on it. And I thought that that was just like so amazing to me, because I'm still, I mean, gosh, man, I just started getting comfortable with enemas less than 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's been enlightening and shattering at the same time. And I've had such an amazing experience over the last 2 months. And I can only imagine the rest of my life putting together this smashed mosaic glass into the picture that I want to create, based off of the vitality and, you know, this power that I have in my body.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A couple of things. I know you touched in on karma. You touched in on non-attachment. I know you got a little into, or maybe not a little, I know you were more deeper into the ideas of the Buddha and noble truths. How's your relationship with that now? Like your thought process around mindfulness
I
and
love it.
meditation.
So I will, it's so great. This has been the most powerful thing that I've noticed on this transition. And I love it when the ego breaks. It's so beautiful. I didn't think this was going to happen. So I, you know, for those of you who know me, which is none of you, but Q, you do. I've had a hard life, especially as a kid. I mean, a really bad accident, 1.5, a drug addicted father, an alcoholic abusive mother, foster care. I mean, you name it, I've been through it. And so there was this, this element of struggle and challenge already in my experience. On top of all that, you know, my programming as a child since like 4 years old till, I don't know, 13, it was like every day my mom telling me that I was going to end up just like my father, on drugs and in jail. Not the best programming. And so as an adult, and even 35, well, not 35, but I had struggled with this doubt. Like, I know I'm capable. I've been told all my life there's so much potential. The realizations, the insights, the synchronicities, all these things that happen that we can't explain happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I know there's something there, yet nothing's happening. And there's this doubt. I'm not good enough. You know, I got to be perfect. You know, I got to, you know, be able to speak in a way where everybody understands me, because, you know, keep it positive is such this crazy idea in this world that is negative, you know?
Yeah.
And that stopped me from doing a lot. I mean, I've declined so many opportunities because I haven't felt worthy. And so getting on to the Mucusless Diet Healing System, and this is no joke. Without a doubt, after a month, randomly driving down the freeway, all of a sudden I realized that I don't have the self-doubt anymore. I'm driving, I'm on the 163 going south. It's about 12 o'clock. I remember it, man. I was in the third lane to the right, and I'm like, man, like, those thoughts don't come up, and those feelings don't arise. Just like the cravings for coffee and bread and sweets and, you know, AKA pus and mucus, like that just doesn't come up anymore. And I thought that was so powerfully calming, especially because all my life, like 34 years, I've been struggling. I mean, I can remember losing my innocence as a child at 5 years old. And so I think that, you know, for me to be able to so powerfully see those thoughts dissipate was insane. You know, whether that would happen for another person, we're different, I don't know, but being able to just recognize that, you know, the things that we're putting into our body they're going to do one of two things to the mind. It's going to either stimulate it or it's going to keep it calm. And I don't know. I mean, I like the phrase keep calm and carry on. It doesn't say keep stimulating. So, you know, I'm trying to follow directions. So yeah, it's been really clear. I've always spoken to you about clarity and wanting clarity and understanding, and, you know, the connection to the Buddha and Buddhism and just the idea of truth. has always gravitated towards me. And I don't say that I'm any closer to truth.
Yeah.
Because that, I feel like, would be super ignorant. However, I do feel like I'm positioning my body to have the opportunity to meet truth. And I just want to continue to give my body that chance, man. Like, if we are an electric, elastic air machine, then I want to make sure that when that divine electricity strikes this rod, I can take it.
Yeah.
And I'm not back into the cycle of incarnation, but I'm here with full awareness, being able to impact the world and, do what we're doing and change it.
Yeah.
Inside out.
Yeah. Definitely. Another thing I wanted to bring up. You mentioned the enemas.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on enemas?
Get over yourself. Do them. Because here's the thing.
Yeah. What's up?
200 years ago, if someone would have came to you and would have been like, "Yo, Q, let me cut you open, man, because I can make that kidney feel a lot better," or because we didn't know. I say we didn't know, like, we have lost history. I'm talking about, at least the recent human beings are dumb and foolish. And so, like, there's this element of non-understanding, like, we don't know how to heal. And so,
we don't know our bodies. We don't know ourselves. Yeah.
And so, I was one of those people that, sure, you tell me it sounds good, but I don't feel it. I don't feel a difference doing a colonic. I mean, we've done colonics together years ago, and I didn't feel the value. I was like, man, like, the discomfort and all that isn't worth going through it.
Yeah. And then, 1 second, sorry. So when Nathan says that we've done colonics together, it wasn't in the same room. We had separate sessions and handled that, just for clarification.
Yeah.
All right, continue, please.
For those who need that clarification. Just to be sure. And so I wasn't, it's like my body did a good thing, but because I was doing not great things to it on a consistent basis, or at least didn't have the practices that would be compatible with the colonic, it didn't have the value or the worth. Now I'm on this whole lifestyle change, and man, those enemas have saved my life sometimes. I was comfortable talking about poop and releasing before with my wife and with you. But now I'm looking in the toilet waiting for that mucus to drop. I'm jealous when my wife says she got a good one out. I'm like, oh, you give me another lemon.
Yeah.
So no, they've been great. And I'd encourage anybody who's stepping into themselves and into this lifestyle to just make the decision to commit to you, because, like, unless you have that why, like, why you want to do it, and it has to go beyond your health, because health, the body is this amazing machine. And as we can tell, it'll change and adapt to anything we put through it.
Yeah.
So health is ambiguous. Health is, subjective. So there has to be this bigger why. And I think when you find that, like, you did with the breath, and you got it faster than I did, man. And when you find it, there's that unwavering place that you always reference when the world becomes weird, as it is even more so now. And when connecting with somebody via food after you haven't been able to do that is essential for them, you are able to be there and still be essential for them without having that weight of whatever food is there. And so I would just do it. And the enemas are a lifesaver, especially with the lemon is tough. I'm working my way up to 3.
Okay.
I finally got past 1.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
I do want to share this, though.
What's up?
This is gross for some who might hear it, and fascinating for others.
Yeah.
So you've told me about the Queen's pose once you're done with the enema and it's sitting in your tummy and all, or, you know, all that good stuff. And I've been doing that. And so I had filled up, right? And I was like, oh man, this is a lot. The lemon is getting me.
Okay.
And I had gone to sit on the toilet to release.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. I had this, mind you, I'm just now getting into like, you know, more fitness and health and all that when it comes to like exercise.
Okay.
I leaned over and my body did this spontaneous handstand for like 30 seconds.
Off the toilet?
Off the toilet.
Yeah.
And then I was calisthenic toilet man. and then I came back down and I mean, you know, the release was, how do you say, glorious?
What was that?
Glorious. The release was glorious.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you say? Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that was cool.
And then what made you do it? Because it is important. No. So like the enemas are important in the system. Yeah. Like when you get into the lessons, it definitely, it's like, yo, these are important. Like you wanna get that waste out that you're dissolving from practicing. So like what made you do it? Like what made you go like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take this seriously right now?
Well, two things. One, colonics are expensive.
Yeah.
You know, they're just up there.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, it's kind of like, imagine that you find the one for you, the partner that is just like, wow, I can't even fathom having this, but here you are.
Mm-hmm.
And you know this, you know it, but you decide to go in 80%.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it'll work, but maybe that 20% will be detrimental and the love of your life will walk out. And then that would have been the whale that got away, or the one that got away.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it kind of like that, where it's like, man, like I'm busting my ass eating applesauce and banana mash and salad, and I don't even have bread no more. I don't have, you know, and I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't get over an enema. I can't get over an enema with lemon. And so I was like, man, like if I want to change the world, I probably got to change my mind on getting an enema done. You know? So I started at the base, literally.
Yeah. Yep. Right there at the root.
At the root. Yeah. And you know, I will say my body gets a little nervous still every time. But I don't think it's doing the enema. I think it's understanding what the enema does, and then, you know, making the commitment. It's like when you know, if you've ever experimented with psychedelics or anything, you got to make the commitment to go in and, you know, to do it. Yeah. And so it's like that. My body gets a little nervous because I know I'm getting ready to do that commitment. I'm really going to get in it. Yeah. And, you know, I'll tell you, man, the meditation that comes with trying to hold that lemon in for more than 2 minutes for me.
Yeah.
Woo. Woo.
Yo, talk about meditation though, huh? Like
man, sweating.
Moment.
I feel like one of those Buddhist monks that have the Arctic towel on them and they're just burning it off with their meditation. Man, yeah.
Do you notice that same feeling whether it's distilled water or with the lemon juice?
Well, so Claudia and I just do distilled water because that's what we get. It's okay. It feels like if you had a dirty car and you walked outside really quick and you're like, oh crap, I have a date in 10 minutes. Let me just like wash this down with a hose. Like, yeah, it looks okay, but you know, you probably won't get a second date. So, yeah. And with the lemon, it's like, yo, I got a date in a week. Let me go get my car detailed and make sure it's smelling fresh. Yeah. Let's put a lemon zest inside of it just to be sure it smells good.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's been cool. And then just really quick on a gross side point that's awesome. My gas, because, you know, it still happens. It doesn't smell at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
I love it. It's great. Claudia and I are working on putting a symphony together. We haven't gotten there yet. We need a third person.
Well, let me know if you find them.
There we go. We're looking for that that soprano or bass.
So that's what this interview is about. This is the what is that? The call to audition.
Call to action.
Yeah,
call to action. Yeah. Call to action.
Yo.
Yeah, and just, I mean, again, for me, if anyone's playing around with the idea or it sounds interesting, but they just don't know, do yourself a favor. Pick up Professor Spira's e-course book on Amazon. I did it. I got 4 of them. Actually, I got 5 of them. In my eyes, and this is nothing against the professor. I liked Professor Spira's rendition of Ehret's work. I mean, it clarified, it simplified, it allowed for a real study to happen. It almost was like, damn, I feel like I'm in college and I'm actually learning something I want to learn.
Yeah.
So it was cool. I encourage that, because at the very worst, if you're not stepping into the transition and you're not, really rocking that out, it's an amazing resource for when you are ready to start including small things into your lifestyle.
To start to incorporate the system,
right?
More informed.
Or even just the knowledge. It's like, you're reading about constipation, being the #1 disease, and if you go out and you're eating and you get constipated, well, you have this book now that not only says that information, but then gives you resources on how you can alleviate that. I've had constipation where I would rather be knocked out, and I'm good. I don't want that.
Yeah, definitely. And we're also talking about cellular constipation as well, not only just the bowels. And when you think about, when you mentioned with Claudia, how she's getting out some waste from her enemas and just practicing the system, like that kind of constipation, that stuff up in there. And that's where it gets very gnarly to imagine what that's blocking.
Oh man. Yeah.
Throughout all the channels. In that regard.
Yeah. It's really interesting, man. I've gained more value on listening to your song about moving obstruction from these lungs and whole body.
Yeah.
Don't want to listen to nobody. Listen to the song. I love it.
Matter of perception.
Yep. Yeah. It's all a matter of perception.
Yup.
Yeah, it's been really cool it's been really amazing cleaning up my perception and getting rid of the veil that once eluded such an amazing, vibrant life just by intentional eating.
Yeah. I think that's what's very unique and strange about practicing. Just watching how the very act of you, and this is a famous or just well noted, the act of controlling what you put in your mouth, how it just changes your life.
Yeah, it's like what comes out of your mouth. Be mindful to the highest degree, starting with your physiology, and then let it flow throughout your being. Right? Side note, my phone is about to hit the hay in a little bit.
Okay.
To be aware of that.
All right. What's hit the hay? What percentage you at?
It's just dwindling down. It's in that low power mode type thing.
Oh, lower. Okay. So at the bottom. So you mentioned practicing with a partner. You also mentioned going to a dinner recently. How has your social dynamics been being a practitioner?
Yeah. I'd say that out and about in the world, we laugh a lot because we understand now. And that's all you can do. You can't get mad. You can't get sad. You just got to laugh because, those who don't know, and you can't be mad at them for it. And then the other thing that it's really done, I'd say that it just gives an added level of the deep realization of how important a tribe and a community of like-minded individuals is. Because as amazing as human beings are, we have a lot of work to do. And if you are becoming distracted by all of everybody else's stuff, then you lose sight of what is the main goal, which is to work on you. So that way you can connect to this higher power, if that's what you believe. And more importantly, you can change the world around you. And, you know, that just seems like if we have that gift and that responsibility, why wouldn't we want to step into that? And, you know, if it's a lack of information and resources, because it is, and the system and the way things are set up is to fool people, then we need to do everything that we can to get the information out. And however it comes out, however that person expresses it is beautiful. It's how they're supposed to express it. It just needs to be out. People need to know about it.
Yeah. And then see what they think about it.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it.
See what they feel. They got to feel it, man. I would even say, like, screw what you think about it, because that don't matter. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's how you feel. Yeah. Man, like, I was thinking to myself, like, oh, I don't want to get down to 150. I don't want to da-da-da. And, like, man, I'm 155. I'm loving it. I feel great. Got to feel fit. Like, so I would say, like, no, like, I don't ever want to tell someone about the diet and tell me what you think.
Okay.
It's not, it's like, I have breath that should be quality and saved. And I believe that, you know, that level of vibrancy and vitality that you start to just encapsulate in your whole body through this system, it just allows you to have better discernment on how to approach it with people. I mean, gosh, dude, you and I have been brothers for a minute now. Yeah. And on some deep level stuff. Yeah. And even you recognize that there comes a point where, you know, you got to be discerning with how you share it. Yeah. And if you are, right, and if you focus on the most important thing, which is you, like you did, then what happens? I got a great story. So this is what happened. It's, imagine that you have three people, right? So here's one person here. Here's another person. We'll say this is I don't know. This is you, right? Okay. And then here's John Doe, and you're like, Mucusless Diet, and you're trying to shine your butt off to him, right? Yeah. He's like,
talk your butt off to him.
Yeah, talk your butt off. Like, nah, man, I'm not into that, right? Yeah. If you were to have stopped your practice and your discipline and stopped shining that light to John, then me, all the way over here, I wouldn't have been able to follow that reflection back to you. And so I think that's kind of the big thing, is like, don't talk about it, be about it. Yeah. And in the be about it, you become so attractive from a vibrancy level, so attractive from a spiritual level, so attractive from a discipline level. Whatever that person is missing in their life, you become attractive because you have it. And then all of a sudden it's like, yo, Q, what are you doing, man? Yeah. You know, I know you mentioned some stuff about some mucus. Can you talk to me about it again? Like, what is, and that happens. Yeah. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you have information that has value, and then that value is translated into your choices and how you decide to live life. And I think that for me, what I'm recognizing now is the more efficient you can become in recognizing the feelings that pull you towards what's right and what feels good. Because you know, then the closer you become to just being in constant communion with the universe and just everything. Yeah. And I'm trying to get to that, man. Like, I'm trying to be love. I'm trying to be all of everything that is creation, and creation is nothing but love. And if I can remove obstructions from these lungs and whole body, then I don't have to answer to nobody.
Yo, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm the most excited time frame that I'm looking forward to in this whole process of transitioning. Yeah, is the rest of my life. And I never thought I was going to be able to be so happy with just being on a journey and not coming to a destination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, thank you so much for joining me and sharing yourself, your expression, your life. I do want to put out, if anyone wants to check out Young here, you can hit up the website, KIP Healing, the number 4U.com. This will be the massage therapy, life coaching, nutrition. You could check that out. Then on the Facebook and Instagram, the KIP Lifestyle, and we'll put those links up so you can easily find it. I know on Insta you got the underscores, but we can
Yeah.
find you. We got you. Yo.
Cool.
Oh yeah. So I know you said so much. I just wanna bring up, what is your message to everyone tuning in right now? What is your message before we peace out?
Yeah, great question. Let's see.
Yo, my phone died. But here's my message to everyone. Decide what type of person you want to become, and then find a community that supports your efforts. KIP. Step into you. Thank y'all for checking this video out. Click like if you like this video. If you have any questions or want to leave a comment below, leave that comment below. Share with peeps you think may be interested in this message, in this information, in this lifestyle, in this vibe. And if you want to continue on this journey with me, click subscribe and we can vibe. Peace out.